Welcome. We got another session going on for Breachers VRML. We're in preseason. We're on week 6. I think it's 1 or 2 weeks left. I think it's 1 week left in the season after this, before we have about a month break before going into season 1. So always excited to hop in. Always love hopping in and saying what's up and casting, seeing what's going on. Hopping on a little early. Let's check out these lineups that we got today. So we have Radiant versus Callsign Echo, and they both have pretty, I guess you can say, even records with a 3-3 and a 4-4. So I'm expecting some really good gameplay from both of these teams. I will say I'm not the most impartial to this encounter, considering I actually am the team captain for Callsign Echo. But I decided that why not hop on and cast my team to see how it goes. So we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping the best for them. But as always, got to be objective and enjoy both sides of this matchup. So let's check out what's going on in the game, as it just has already started. We're starting on going to be Factory today on our first map. So always love seeing what teams can come up with when they're making these attacks into Factory, because that's one of the hardest maps, I think, to attack onto. But that's what some people say, but I don't know. I did some casting a little bit earlier today, and I saw some really top tier teams making attacks in the Factory, and it was funny enough, whenever they had attacking plays, they almost always won. So you'd almost, for them, you could say that Factory is almost a guaranteed win when you're attacking. So it's interesting to watch. But anyways, as we already see right now in Radiant, no one's really playing into any roaming styles. I've noticed that a lot of people, especially on the Factory as a map, they actually do not utilize any roaming, or at least it's very minimal. Or they play maybe one roamer, and it's a really long roamer when they're actually playing it out. So it's nice. It's interesting to see everyone playing pretty close to side, pretty much anchored on site, getting ready for these pushes. But we'll see how Callsign Echo decides to push into this map, as we do have Radiant really holding it down, trying to make sure they have all these areas locked down. And we can see, players like Swifts, they got their frag, they're ready to throw it in, as they're expecting people to come in through assembly line. I think right now they're just listening out, trying to see what's going to happen, and that's what's happening right now. Just kind of a slow wind up for Callsign Echo. And we finally have some initial starts, and we already seeing some shots traded over here in storage, getting the breach ready on the back, and they tried making the push in, but it didn't quite work out for them. Anyways, Pearl does knock down Nolan on the back end there. It's now down to a 5v3 situation, and it's not looking favorable for them right now, as Radiant is just holding it down in their angles. Swift swinging out, trying to get some shots in. They hear people vaulting and doing a lot of different things. And Swift's actually even holding the corner back there, trying to pull around. They're not quite sure where the plan was off. Anyway, Swift gets Donut Pirate down now to a 2v5 situation. Definitely very hard. I'm surprised that all of them are still alive, but they are. Anyways, a lot of dropping on the other end. Swift and Split trying to push in, get some shots in. Deadline does get knocked down by the Cyclone, and it's now down to a 1v5 situation. Definitely a Herculean effort. Quan Chi on the back end gets a 2-piece. Now the team's already going in for the defuse. They have 2 in. They just need to get a knockdown, and they do. It's now down to 2 people up, and they got the defuse. And the first point will be going to Radiant for them. And yeah, tough first round. We saw a solid setup, but when you have someone jumping down, and someone was able to catch them out on the back end, because maybe they weren't expecting someone to actually be watching that angle, or just pushing a little bit too early. They got caught out, and unfortunately the numbers did start switching onto the other team already. So Radiant's off to a good start. They have a strong, healthy economy. We're seeing them buy out a lot of gadgets. At this point, we're kind of watching Callsign Echo, seeing if they can get some kind of pushback on them and not letting them go in for a round 2 win. But we will have to see how they fight it back. It should be quote-unquote even, because it looks like neither team is really doing a half buy or anything else. Looks like people are really saving for that Bezin. The only people I see on the other team, Callsign Echo, is Quan Chi, deciding to go in for that half buy, going with the Cadillo, I believe. So we'll see if that does work out for them. Maybe they want to get those kills, considering it is the second round, so they know most likely the other team is rocking pistols themselves. And you know, this first floor, oh sorry, second floor, it's always an interesting push. You know, you got office and kitchen. I think I noticed most teams tend to make some kind of push into A site. They're really hoping for something to work out. And I can see that they're really itching to utilize those frags. Maybe they have some crazy fraggers on their team. Anyways, JJS Quest, not really holding down computer or control room. A double flash in from Callsign. We got a 4-man push in on the hatch as everyone starts swinging around. And the breach is made. Shots already in. As a 2-piece down already from Ghost. And now at this point they're going a break on the other end. Someone swings in wide, gets a double one shot, but Nolan is refragged themselves. Now down to a 4v2 situation. We got split lip, and Red Wolf are now the only ones alive for this round. And they are holding it deep on both ends. So let's see if Red Wolf goes in for the really deep flank, because that looks like that's what they are going for. Trying to swing in wide while Quanchi's on the back and is watching them. We'll see if they do catch them out. And they do got that one piece there. Now down to a split lip. We got Deadline holding it down as they keep poking that corner. But split lip is making sure to not overextend unless they know it's in a favorable position. Let's see if any callouts are made. Are they going to push it or let it slide? Because they do have the EMP down. They got the teams holding it on other areas. And a flank is coming up, but Donut Pirate is able to fight them back, surprisingly. And I think they were not aware, they weren't ready for that. Split Lip did have the advantage, but it didn't quite work out for them there. And that does give Callsign Echo the first point now. It is now even going into round 3. So both teams should be expecting some buyouts right now. We're seeing some RCPs come in and some Vezins from Callsign Echo, and most likely Vezins coming in from Radiant now. So we're seeing the teams, both of them, for the most part, in full force. We'll see if they can hold it down. I am expecting this to be a very interesting round, seeing as both teams are fully kitted. And third floor is hit or miss. I feel like most people always hit A side. I've seen very minimal pushes on the B side that were successful, but you never know. You never know. I love seeing teams surprise me, as I see that happen all the time on cast. Anyways, looks like Swift might be the team leader here as they're making a lot of callouts, telling people what to do and where to throw things. And Swift, it looks like they're ready to throw that frag. They're double fragged up. Maybe just throwing it around the corner. We'll see if it happens. And Swift is ready. Throws in the frag. Doesn't quite go through. Anyways, on the back end, got JJS Quest. They got the shots off, and it was against Deadline. Now the team is holding in. They're in on, but are they going to be making that push? Where are the other? Oh, they're actually all three in there. And the drop was made by Nolan. The team is now all in from Callsign Echo. It's really down to Radiant to see if they can get any good push here. They're expecting people to be on the other side. And a lot of wall banging happening, but nothing quite hitting anybody yet. Quanchi does swing wide, but no one is quite there. The team is fully expecting them to make a push in as they're all surrounding it. And I believe an Incendiary just came out. Nolan able to get the shots in on Swifts in the back end. It's now down to a 4v4, but health is not looking good. JJS really holding that back corner. And Ghost gets picked off, and Nolan gets picked off for that wall bang. Now down to a 2v4 situation. This Callsign Echo is down on the numbers. And they are holding their angles. They got the time. It's about a minute and a half. Shots off by Quanchi. Gets a split lip down. And JJS Quest is utilizing that jump spot to great effect. But doesn't matter as Red Wolf is able to get the shot in on Quanchi. It's now down to a 1v3 from Donut Pirate. Gets shot off by JJS Quest on the back end. And they were not expecting that rotation. Good attempt, but as we saw that Radiant knew they were coming in, and they basically were holding, you know, things like the jump spot. They're ready to start throwing in frags, everything. They were fully expecting that push, and unfortunately it did get cut short. And here we are back on floor 1. We already saw one push from Callsign Echo. We'll see if they do utilize the same play against Radiant or if they're going to mix things up. We're seeing Radiant. They know they made that push here already, and they're going to be setting up the same exact spot. From it looks like they're really utilizing all the gadgets they can in storage. We'll see if that does work out to their favor. As they are really doing their best to prepare everything. And they're buying out here. You can see them utilizing as much gadgets, buying out the Bezins. They literally have all the gadgets set up in this map. Some gadgets still set up on this side. They basically went pretty much all in on the gadgets, and you know they're fully expecting to win this round out, because look at the side of Radiant. They have some money, you know, in their pocket. Even if they do lose this round, they'll be pretty good. I think the players like JJS Quest, they'll be able to still buy out their Bezin come the next round, even if it was a loss. And they're really going in for that wall bang and hitting all spots. JJS Quest getting a little antsy, just shooting all over the place, expecting something to happen. Definitely kind of fun to watch. Anyways, everyone's kind of hanging around. I think they noticed that there might be a push into A site, as they're holding their angles. And they might be swinging wide. Everyone's really rotating the A side, expecting something to happen here. At this point, everyone's splitting, setting up. We got Split Lip sitting here, launching the back end. Shots off from JJS Quest, already on the little corner there, and they got 2 down. Got a breach on the other end. Are they going to be pushing it though? Split Lip is kind of in a shitty, bad scenario. Sorry, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever cursed on cast. That was a bad one for me. Anyways, Split Lip is in a really bad scenario. They're holding against that corner and not quite able to hold it down. And it's looking slow. They're not going to make a push in quite yet. They heard one drop. Red Wolf might be swinging wide. And they start putting in. Red Wolf able to shot off, but Nolan's able to finish that up. Gets a double piece back to back. And a 3-piece. Can they get one more? No, they decide to pull off and kind of relax. Now down to a 2v2 scenario. As Kwanchi comes in, gets a shot off. It's now a 1v2 situation. And Nolan able to finish that up with a tied up wow from Callsign Echo. And I did not think it was going to work out for them at all. We saw Radiant. I mean, people got, like, let's see what JJS Quest, a 6-3 KDR right now. It is looking good right now and healthy for JJS Quest. And we're seeing right now with the money in the pocket, they have 3 players that are able to buy those Vezins out on Radiant. So definitely looking really good payday for Radiant, and I'm shocked that it did work out, considering I think 2 or 3 people got knocked down before that push was able to happen. And JJS Squad's trying their best to really reel the team up, as we're seeing that 6-3 KD from JJS Quest. JJ's Quest, I don't know how to pronounce it. We'll see how that goes. But a surprising turnaround from Callsign Echo, considering how well JJ shut down 2 people trying to go into that jump hatch. And I know that hatch is a hard spot, you know. I always say that hatch, I don't hold that angle. I never hold that angle. For me, that hatch is fully only for jumping in, because it's one of the riskiest spots, I think, for a team. Anyways, we see Callsign Echo setting up on the roof, it looks like, going into the site. Everyone, again, playing pretty anchored to site. And that's what it's interesting to see from Radiant, and I think a lot of other teams have noticed this. Roaming on this map can be a mixed bag. You got to really know what you're doing. I've seen some players execute perfectly on this map with their roaming, but a lot of teams, from what I'm seeing, they're not utilizing roaming too well, that they're deciding it makes more sense to actually stay pretty close and pretty anchored to site before anything really happens. Anyways, Callsign Echo probably, it looks like they might be playing the same exact play as the team is expecting them to be in there. And I mean, if Radiant is able to clutch up this round, I will be shocked, because it appears that they went for a full buy-in round. Sorry, not full buy-in, they went for a save round. Everyone's rocking Cyclones. And the frags are in to take out the gadgets. They are prepping flashes. Are they making a push in the site again? And JJS Quest again on the back end, doing a great job at punishing people for not being ready for that. Shots are being traded off, but nothing hitting anyone. And JJ's Quest, I think, is pulling off site roaming to great effect. You know, funny, I was just talking about roaming, and JJ's Quest is showing that they're doing a good job at roaming and know how to utilize it. Let's see if JJ is able to get a shot in or not. So they're trying to nail down control room. Now the team is pretty much split, and they're looking down, you know, 4-5 scenario, and they got like literally everyone in on control room. As they jump in, and it was almost quite a shooting gallery, but not quite ending well. Anyways, it ends up being a 3-2 scenario. I'm not sure. I don't know how they didn't all die from that. And they are trading back and forth between Ghost and Pearl. And just by the skin of their teeth, Pearl gets 6 health left. As Nolan's looking around, not quite sure what's going to happen. Anyways, Nolan's able to knock that up and clutch it down for Callsign Echo, which, again, I'm shocked that's working out. You know, we got players like JJ's Quest really holding it down and punishing Callsign Echo for not being ready. But somehow they're still able to clutch up and come through it in the end. So good performance by Callsign Echo to not be demoralized by some of the punishing picks that JJ's Quest is able to get off during some of their play setup. Anyways, this will be the last round before the reset. And I always think that this map is made by the attackers. They always say that it's technically a defender-oriented map. I'm starting to my opinion on that is starting to change, but I think if you think in simple like when you're starting off, this map tends to be more defender oriented, right? As it's really hard to push. Some of these sites just all together are really hard to push in really tight corners that they can't really execute into. Anyways, we're seeing Callsign Echo setting up again onto the 3rd floor. I think this is the 3rd time they're playing in the 3rd floor. We'll see how this does work out for the team, as they are making points everywhere. JJ's Quest maybe getting hurt from something. And the team is setting up. Nothing quite happening anywhere yet, as Radiant is swinging into B side. They're throwing frags out, I think, hoping someone's going to walk into it. But nothing quite happening yet. Anyways, it looks like they did hear that someone was coming in to that little back spot, but nothing happening yet. No one getting shot off. I don't know. I still don't know how JJ's got shot. Anyways, they're being held down. They're trying to hold it. Ghost able to get a kill off. And the team on the other end only able to get shots off through the breach. And they are now coming in on site, trying to go in for the plant, while the team is being held back by Callsign Echo in that biochemical room. That team is trying their best to rotate in, but not happening yet. And surprisingly, 5 players still alive on Callsign Echo's side. And now Radiant kind of tucked in on a corner. Trying to see if I can get an angle on this. Ghost almost getting the incendiary in, but not landing in the most favorable position. Pearl knows that someone's in that spot, but are they going to be able to get a shot off? Ghost able to get that kill on Split Lip. Now down to Pearl. And they are trying their best to shoot through that, but they are able to get Quan Chi out. And Ghost able to finish that up and clutch it down for Callsign Echo, as they do win that and have a 4-2 on Factory. And this is looking good for Callsign Echo. We'll see if they can do the same performance going into the half for the defending side. And I am curious to see how Radiant does respond. They were doing a good job at holding down Callsign Echo the first couple rounds, but things did start switching up towards the later part of that half. Radiant setting up right outside of storage. Looks like they maybe are playing a 3-4 man push into storage, or just all on this one side. Swift's getting ready, really stretching it out. I'm having a good time. I applaud them for having a good time. And I will definitely clip that for some of the shows we got later. Swift just really dancing it out. Anyways, Radiant having some fun before they decide to make this push in. JJ's Quest poking in. They're trying to make some push in. They know storage. It looks like storage is going to be their location that they want to push in. JJ's Quest seeing the frag, decides to start booking it. Doesn't quite get killed by it. Is able to dodge that out. Now they are kind of held down. They're going to potentially be thrown in a flash, I think, from Split Lip. Never mind, Split Lip just flashed themselves. We got Red Wolf and Swips coming in slowly. Maybe trying to get some wall bang in potentially. All these angles are being held. The gadgets are definitely being thrown out. Frag going out, but not quite connecting with anybody. As people start coming in, Nolan does get knocked down by JJ's Quest. Sunfire does go in for the static, but it doesn't quite connect with anyone. And they do get a wall bang, and at this point, not on 2v3. Never mind, it's down to Quan Chi. And where is Quan Chi? On the back end, I believe. Team is making the call-outs. As they swing wide. It's now down to Quan Chi. Can they hold it down? They have one person on their back, and they really got to make this kill, otherwise they will die. And they get shot by their arm, and they are down by Swift. Swifts. And Radiant trying their best to knock down Callsign Echo's lead. It is now a 4v3 scenario with the first defending round actually going to Radiant. For at least the defending round for Callsign Echo. And seeing some strong gameplay. You know, JJ's was keeping it hot and heating it up earlier. They are starting to slow down just a tad bit. But definitely some good fragging abilities from both teams. But the spread is a little bit more even, I would say, on Radiant potentially. And Split Lip just teleported in. I think they're lagging a little bit. I think they said, hey, I'm not going to take this EMP. I don't want to. Anyways, they are going to be on the 3rd floor. I think the team's a little bit late to getting ready for the push. But they're taking their time, taking a little powwow, going to decide when they want to come in together. And they are getting prepped soon. Definitely a player to watch, JJ's Quest. I love watching how they play the game as they are able to get those crazy picks from some weird angles. Anyways, the team is setting up on the rooftop. Getting ready to push in on both ends. And JJ's Quest fully committing in. The team is going to start moving in on blue hallway. They're going to be getting the breach set up, and they might be making a good push into A side with 2 people, I think, on the back and in that biochemical labs. JJ's Quest definitely telling people what to do, telling them, ordering them around, saying, hey, let's go in, we're going to make this push, and we're going to make it pretty soon, it looks like. And they are setting up. You got the push in. They accidentally flashed their teammates. Definitely not the best scenario. Frags are being thrown, and Quan Chi in the back end able to get a pick off. Trades are happening left and right. JJ's Quest committing hard to the room, and is now down to a 3v2 with a plant happening from Radiant. Deadline able to get the shots off. And now down to Split Lip and Ghost. Split Lip and JJ's Quest. They have the EMP down, and things are knocked down on the back end. Let's see if Ghost is able to get the kill in on Split Lip. They're pushing in soon, and they do finish that down. Callsign Echo just has to look for the bomb. And that is definitely a new spot. I actually don't see people plant there that often. But that does get a defuse for Callsign Echo, giving them the round against Radiant. And I'm telling you, I just half the time, don't get me wrong, I love my team, but some of the gameplay that we're seeing from Radiant, we're seeing some really good setups. They're just about to get there, but they can't finish. Callsign Echo is kicking them out before they're able to get their plays finished up, or have them work out in the ways that they wanted it to. So Callsign Echo definitely off to a good start on Factory. you know, we got this 5-3 against Radiant. We'll see if Radiant can fight this back. As, you know, we've seen Radiant. It's not like this is not a shutout, right? Radiant's won several times against Callsign Echo, against some really weird plays. So it's definitely not impossible, considering we're about, what, 3 rounds into the second half of this game. They can come back. There's no rolling potential yet. I mean, looking at Radiant, right, they got their buyouts. They got the economy right now, at least not in their advantage, but both teams are pretty equal, right? Both teams are rocking Bezins for the most part. I mean, we see a couple players like Ghost and Deadline on the Callsign Echo side rocking RCPs instead, probably saving a little bit more. So we'll definitely be seeing a lot more better or closer gameplay, I think, this round, as both teams are pretty much fully kitted out. And basically, either whatever team has the better strategy or the better shooting mechanics, and we will definitely have to find that out pretty soon. Anyways, the drone is coming in, and wall bangs are happening left and right. And they are setting up pretty soon right now. Shots happening right through the hallway, and a static actually cutting them off in the middle. And I think a beautiful frag goes and almost knocks out Nolan. And right now they are setting up good right now with Radiant holding that side. Swip's getting down, Quanchi in the back end. People running in. Red Wolf able to swing wide. JJ's Quest gets a shot off. Ghost has a beautiful frag in though. And they are now being cut down, and they just shut down Callsign Echo in that room. They had crazy angles all across the room. I did not know who was going to die left and right. Too many things were happening. Anyways, that round goes to Radiant as they're, again, trying to close this gap. We're going into round 10 out of 12, right? We have 2 rounds left, and at this point, Callsign Echo either wins this and they secure their draw at the bare minimum for this map, or Radiant is actually able to win this one and potentially try to cause a draw or even win themselves, right? They have to win the next 3 rounds for them to actually win this game. Otherwise, it looks like most likely Radiant will, at the bare minimum, go for a draw if they do win this. But who knows? We can see Radiant start a winning streak, or we can see Callsign Echo stopping their momentum and try to win this out. And yeah, definitely some callouts. You know, it's always fun seeing people on teams and how they like make their calls and tell people really what to do. Anyways, Radiant is setting up again. Looks like they might be playing more of a hatch play this time around. Sorry, I'm like burping. Might be playing more of a hatch play this time around. As we got 3 up on the roof, but still like more of a 3-2 formation right now with 2 on the blue stairs. Not really committing yet, just holding their angles. Anyways, reach on the hatch was made. Looks like Split Lip is pretty close to jumping in, and they do. Anyways, they do commit into the room. We got storage hallway and storage locked down from Callsign Echo. Shots being shot off by Deadline in the back, and they were not expecting that. Deadline swinging wide. Shots were traded and damage was made, but nothing quite happening. JJ's Quest committing hard again and getting shots, but doesn't matter as they get fragged down. Anyways, now down to Swift. They got knocked down on one. It's now down to a 2v2 situation. And man, lives are being traded left and right real fast there. So it's really coming in that room. I don't know if they saw a ghost there. They might have. Anyways, it appears that they're going to be making a push into A side pretty soon. They got the, they got the breach down. Anyways, they went down the back and got Deadline caught out. Now down 2-1. Red Wolf able to get that finish off and is now tied up against Callsign Echo with a 5v5 scenario. I don't know. I don't know. At this point, we might be seeing a potential draw from the teams, because both teams at this point both need to win 2 games in a row. Otherwise, they're going into a draw situation. My best guess, whoever wins this round is going to win the map. But that doesn't mean they can't get the draw, because that could definitely happen. And I'm definitely against draws. I'm not the biggest fan of draws, but that is how the game goes in Breachers, and we'll be fine if it does come down to a draw. I forget if VRML has an OT thing. No, I think if you draw, it like ends it there. There's no MMR change, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, beautiful gameplay by Radiant. I didn't know what was going to happen. We saw lives traded early in the round from Radiant, but they were able to actually come back and clutch up, similar to how Callsign Echo did a couple times over. And it's funny, I really tend to think the defending team is going to have the advantage, but we're not seeing that here anymore. We're seeing the attacking team actually playing better. Anyways, they're setting up JJ's quest, running into the room, and they're playing hard in that room. Already setting up for the breach, and a trip mine had went off from Red Wolf. We have the team fully set up at this point, starting to commit to the room. They throw in some flashes. I don't think it hit anybody. Anyways, they fully commit in. Shots being traded. Swift's getting able to shot in on deadline, and Swift's getting two piece in a row. Ghost knocked down. Now down to one person, as Radiant had a beautiful push in. Can Donut catching people out? No, they can't. They get shot down by Pearl. It's now down to Radiant, winning that round with 6 points up. And that does give them the win. They are at the bare minimum looking at a draw. At this point, Callsign Echo has to play out their best plays in order to win this. But I don't know. Their economy is looking rough. They have to play to their heart's content because right now, Radiant's rocking some healthy economy. You know, they have that full Vezin buyout at this point. We're seeing RCPs left and right on Callsign Echo as they are trying their best to really hold down this round and get that draw in the end. And they're dropping their Jespers left and right, maybe for fun. I do not know what's going on here. But more power to Radiant for having fun and throwing their little guns around, right? Anyways, Radiant looks like they are playing the third floor up going in. Just fully on committing to that room. And they're going to be making a push in the control room, it looks like, also potentially going into A site, as I'm expecting that from this kind of push. Anyway, JJ's quest able to get shots in on Quan Chi on the back end, and trying to catch up. They're getting the marks out, they know someone's there. As JJ's quest goes on the other end, potentially push in on Kitchen. I think we're going to be seeing a Kitchen pinch pretty soon here. Flash is going in, and they are fully committing in. Got Swift and JJ's quest. They're able to get that shots off, and they got 2-piece back to back. Now they are running around. Ghost able to get the kill off, and it's now down to Ghost. Ghost and the being stuck in that room. Anyways, Red Wolf does knock him down, and that does give Radiant the win for map 1, and this did automatically do it. There we go. Radiant does get the win for map 1. And that was a close one. That was always, that was a close one for sure. We're seeing some really beautiful gameplay on Radiant's side. When we have players like JJ's Quest knocking it down and locking it down the whole game for the most part, which I'm kind of shocked by. I'm not surprised that they're able to hold it down. Funny thing to look at actually is the amount of steps made. Callsign Echo, we're seeing them book it apparently across the whole map. Left and right, while Radiant on the other end is kind of taking it slower potentially, or making very quick, direct plays instead. And it's definitely interesting to see that step difference from both teams for the most part. And it was really a nail biter till the very end. At first, Callsign Echo was leading it. They were holding down for a while, but things started switching once Radiant did have that win streak back to back to back. And it looks like they are going to be playing Hideout next. So I'm hoping to see some different gameplay from Callsign Echo. Granted, this is my team too, so I'm definitely hoping to have some better gameplay coming into round 2. But we saw some beautiful gameplay by Radiant. I wouldn't be shocked if they did the same thing heading in the Hideout. And it appears that Radiant's actually starting on the attacking side coming in the Hideout, so we'll see how that does work out. But Radiant, several times at the beginning of all this, they had really good setups. We knew that they had the skills there, but they were being cut short by Callsign Echo. Maybe towards the end they started cleaning up their act and really kind of focusing in on these picks and making things work out in a more favorable position for them, and that's what happened. You know, now instead of just only setting it up a little bit and falling flat, we saw them, you know, able to set it up and then execute properly on top of that. So good gameplay by Radiant. I don't think they will be taking a break. No one's pinged me. I hope they aren't taking a break because I would like to know that. But I do not think they are. We got we have 10 on both. We have 10 in total. They're all just kind of hanging out as we are going to be moving in pretty good or pretty soon. We'll see. Never mind. They might be taking a break. Looks like someone on Callsign Echo side did hop out of the match. But regardless, going into map 2, we saw some really good attacking gameplay from Callsign Echo. And again, this is just a weird map where I'm not sure if Callsign Echo was struggling on the defensive side or Radiant was just that good at their attacking plays. Because that's what we saw. Radiant was dominating on the later half, which is they were attacking better than they were definitely defending. And we've seen that time and time again, right? Some teams might be good at a certain map. However, they're better at certain sides on certain maps. And we'll definitely see that coming into map 2, right? With Radiant starting again on the attacking side. Will they dominate the first half similar to what they did in this previous map on the attacking side, or will they be shut down? We'll find out soon. We'll see if Hideout is also their map or if it's Callsign Echo's map instead, as teams definitely specialize in certain maps. Teams definitely specialize in certain types of attacking maps. Because I mean, you know, attacking Hideout is definitely very different than attacking Factory, for the to say the least. But they still have somebody out. I think I might go for an ad. That's fine. We'll keep it going. But anyways, hop in the chat. Let me know who you want to win. Let me know who you want to see hold it down. Because it looks like we actually had more votes for Callsign Echo in this matchup. So can I pull that up? Does it pull up the stats that they had? No, it does not tell you the match stats. That would be cool. That'd be cool if we had some information on, you know, what team had more votes for what. I'll pull it up right now, pulling up the VRML Breachers site, as the teams are still going to be setting up for a bit. I'm just going to be hanging out, pulling up these numbers. And it looks like Callsign Echo had 16 votes to Radiant's 2 votes. So we'll see who ends up winning, as it appears that a lot of people were expecting Callsign Echo to take this matchup. But I don't know, Radiant definitely put up a really good fight in the first map. I fully expect them to take up a really good fight in the second and potentially even third map, so we go to third. Well, I mean, we're always going to go to third map, right? But we'll see if they win the series by map 2, or if it's going to go to map 3, and it's going to be a map 3 decider, right? Map 3 decider looks like it's going to be a skyscraper for them. So that definitely is skyscraper. You know, it's funny. I've heard people complain about it all the time, saying that it's a terrible map. I like it. I like it. Maybe because it's a circle, and to me, it's kind of fun with the symmetry. But I can see it. It feels like a very boring and just long, continuous map versus, you know, something like Factory, or I think Hideout is probably the map favorite for most people playing Breachers. So definitely, you know, hop in the chat. Let me know what's your favorite map. I don't mind. Between Hideout and Skyscraper. I used to love Factory, but I actually hate Factory now. I don't know, I just don't enjoy playing Factory anymore. It just feels like kind of claustrophobic to me. So definitely not my favorite map to be playing on. And I've been going for a bit. I think they're taking their 10-minute break, so I will be hitting. Need you to fill in less than. Oh, never mind. It looks like they will be having someone fill in. I will be going to an ad break. I will see y'all, I think, about like 2-3 minutes. So I will see y'all in a bit.
chat.
All right. It looks like they are pulling in a sub, so we'll be a hot minute. As we just kind of hang out, very much chilling. I think maybe I can pull a post round. Yeah, let's see. Get the stats in on the screen. I did, I gotta get better at pulling in some of the instant replay stuff. So we have better cameras. Where's my hand? Better cameras over here. But I am working on that. I'm trying my best to really kind of push it through. I thought the auto broadcasters, some of these things are not working the way that I wanted it to. But anyways, looking into this second map with Callsign, Echo, and Radiant. Radiant is definitely having a good time. I think they're hanging out. Let me pull it into the lobby. It's kind of funny to watch these people, but they're kind of just hanging out, playing around with the instruments, having a good time. Swift's going, Swift is definitely the, I guess, character on the team, as Swift was the one having fun dancing around earlier, and that's the clip that we keep seeing on the screen here. Oh, and man, I keep burping. But Callsign Echo at this point really hoping to hold it out for their fifth, as Deadline might be pressing in on that buzzer sometime soon, but I don't think they will be doing that. So I am hoping, this is a good second round. I'm always a big sucker for a round 3 decider. It's definitely a lot more entertaining. Because, don't get me wrong, we watch all 3 maps anyways, but it is a little bit less entertaining when you know the team going into round 3 has already won 2 maps. They have it under their belt, so it's not as entertaining, right? I want to feel the tension. I want to see who can really win it out and get the MMR boost from this match, and which one will be knocked down, unfortunately, by the same thing. Anyways, it appears that they did pop on that. I can't talk right now. Anyways, we're going into round 2. They did hit the map start. I think they might have hit their 10-minute round, so they are going to be having to start this round with a bot, unfortunately. So we'll see if Callsign Echo was able to hold this down on the defending side, which is definitely one of the harder things to do on Hideout, especially with the bot. But I have been shocked before. I forgot what game it was, but I believe it might have been, was it Wolfpack? There was a game I had seen earlier that was casted where a team was holding it down with 4 players, I think even 3 players. So I can definitely say never count them out. You never know what teams can really utilize the bot to their best advantage. Anyways, Radiant is going to be setting up. I'm expecting, it looks like we might be getting a garage push from Radiant for the most part. Potentially even a push in the front room through foyer. So we'll see how they started off. Anyway, Split Lip going in for the roll. Oh, it's not a frag. That is a drone. They come in through the room and giving some quick call out saying that garage is clear as the teams does start moving their way in. And they're getting call outs left and right as the pings are going off crazy. Anyways, the drone is somehow not being shot down. And they are starting, they got a flash off. They knock down the bot. As they start moving in, they actually get shot down. Nolan able to knock one down. JJ's Quest pushing in, swinging hard, making their way all the way through in the rotation spot. And there's a battle between Donut and Pyro. They knock him down. It's now down to Pearl. And Quan Chi itching for the shot, itching for the kill. Do they get it? They do. They finish the round, and Callsign Echo gets that first round with the bot nonetheless. And this is what I'm saying. You never know like who wins and who's gonna win or lose. Because somehow Callsign Echo eked that out with just the bot. But who knows? That was pistol round. Might have just been a fluke, right? Anyways, we're seeing some fun gameplay by Radiant. They're all scaling the side of the map on the same side. Red Wolf playing most likely into bedroom, it appears. We're going for the long shot potentially through that window. And JJ's Quest again. I'm always loving watching what JJ's Quest is going to do, because JJ's Quest has made some amazing gameplay, and I think they really are holding it down for Radiant, at least from what I'm noticing. I'm constantly saying their name because they're making some crazy pushes. They might not be killing everybody, but doesn't mean they're not a catalyst for Radiant, it looks like. Anyways, we're seeing a potential 5-man push into the hallway and even bedroom. Will their attack work out in their favor? They are pushing hard as they get stopped by the static. And Deadline able to get shots in, but not quite finishing anyone else. Peter decides to swing wide and get a kill. The bot knocks someone down. It is a 3v3 scenario. They're getting that frag. The breach set up, and wow, Quan Chi gets the wall bang, and Split gets hit by Donut Pyro on the back, and it's now down to Pearl. Can Nolan swing wide and potentially get that kill? Can I get a shot from the... There it is. Bam! Oh, that was a beautiful shot too. I lined it up perfect. Anyways, beautiful gameplay from Nolan and a better shot by me. I'm just kidding. I'm able to get a shot in from Callsign Echo, and I do not know how they are doing it. But man, is that bot putting in work. I mean, Peter's got 1 kill. I did not expect that. I did not expect the bot to actually make some gameplay differences here. You know, as the bot comes in and swings wide in on Radiant during their push. So Callsign Echo definitely trying their best to hold it down until their 5th teammate comes into the round. And we're seeing some aggressive pushes, I would say, from Radiant, right? We're seeing like a 4 or 5-man push potentially in from Radiant. I'm expecting most likely to probably go in the hatch. Probably can hit that the hatch that leads right in the boiler and potentially right above Jim's site. Anyways, it starts swinging in, swings in wide. Frag was thrown out, but not connecting with anybody, I believe. Yeah, everyone on the Radiant side does have 100% health. JJ's Quest holding down the breach. I think they might be playing an aggressive play into Jim's side. Anyways, get knocked down. Only able to get a shot in. 2Ps, 3Ps back to back. And they are just knocking them down. And wow, that was a terrible gameplay from Radiant. As Callsign Echo... by the skin of their teeth, really. I mean, I saw a flash go in. I don't know how it didn't hit anybody from Radiant's, Callsign Echo's side. I don't know how they survived that at all, but they did manage to survive that, as Radiant had a failed push there. And I'm not sure they're expecting something different to work out, but we'll see how it does work out from them. And yeah, you know, that bot putting it work. 1-2, that KDR. I mean, I hate to say it, but the bot's doing better than some players on Radiant. So definitely some respect in the chat for the bot Peter holding it down for Callsign Echo, surprisingly. And again, this is what I'm saying. Like, just because there's a bot on the team, you can't count them out. I've seen other teams actually do well with the bot in the map, and it blows my mind how. But sometimes these bots, maybe the bot's AI is better this time around. Maybe in those past couple updates, maybe they gotten better. But who knows? But definitely, the bot is holding its own weight. Anyways, Radiant is making a potential push in. Split lip pushing in, probably seeing the laser. And yeah, their teammates are helping them out on the other end. Red Wolf and JJ's Quest hopping into the map. Shots off from Nolan. And there's another from the cross angle from Deadline. And now they are knocked out. I don't think the team is aware that the EMP is knocked down. Split lip trying their best to get the hand on the EMP. I can't talk. Oh my goodness. Pearl getting shots in. And they're now held outside a bedroom. I wonder if they're going to start trying to rotate this out or play it through. Anyways, Deadline getting a shot off. And Deadline is punishing them right now, just poking in and out. I think the team does know they're there. Do they have any gadgets, though, to make a difference? What's up? Can you get an interesting angle? Nope, no, these are all weird angles. Shots off from Deadline, but not connecting fully. And I think they're throwing out the drone. Probably going to make a consolidated push with the drone. It doesn't matter as that is shot down immediately. And the time is counting down. It's a minute and a half. Can Callsign Echo hold this down, or are they going to lose this round? I don't think so. They have a 2v5 scenario. And I think they might just potentially be just saving it out. Good gameplay right now from Callsign Echo, not making too aggressive pushes, not making too many aggressive pushes in on Radiant. They're holding their time. They know they have time on their side. It's a minute left. I mean, Swift, he's just literally pointing at their teammates saying, we're not doing anything here. They probably are going in for the save round, or maybe they're going to make some gameplay here, it looks like. Anyways, the timer's counting down. We got 40 seconds, and yeah, I think... Oh, no, never mind. They are booking it right now. So they decide to move in, and they get knocked down by Nolan. Can they finish it off? Nolan gets a two-piece there, and beautiful gameplay right now from Nolan, able to finish that up for them. And it looks like we do have the 5th player in for Callsign Echo. So we'll see if there's any different gameplay this time around. I don't even think the bot was needed because somehow Callsign Echo was able to fight through and get 4 rounds back to back to back on the defending side, no less. So this is a push into kitchen and dining once more. We'll see if Radiant switches it up. I mean, it's weird. I saw Radiant have some really good wind up and some good setup going into kitchen, but it just didn't quite work out for them. Anyways, drone is coming out. Quanchi already getting a pick off on JJ's Quest, which is not boding well for Radiant. And the drone is up once more as they're coming in, giving some callouts on stuff, but they get shot down almost immediately. Anyways, it is now a 4v5 situation from Radiant. Red Wolf on the hatch above. I'm surprised they're not playing hatch. He might be coming down. Anyways, wall banging is happening, and shots are being made, actually. Split lip is pretty low. I think they're just probably trying to end this attack before it even starts. And the breach goes in, and Deadline and Donut get a shot off. Now down to Red Wolf and Swift on the back end. Swift trying to best to swing wide and probably get some caught out. They do. They get a shot in on Donut Pirate. With a minute and a half left, they got to make some kind of push sometime soon. Swift really trying their best to go back and forth, getting different angles in on the team. And Quanchi able to finish that up, and Quanchi able to get a two-piece there on the back end. And that round goes to Callsign Echo once more. And I do not know what is going on Radiant side. This is not the Radiant that I saw in map 1. I don't know what happened. Because Radiant was doing an amazing job on Factory. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Some teams really do specialize at different maps. And it looks like Radiant's map is definitely not Hideout. But who knows? On the defending side, maybe they'll be better on Hideout. I really don't. Wow, that is definitely a very interesting trip mine. I've never seen that. It's almost like a spotlight. Does that actually reach it though? I think it might be too far out, but running into the room, no one's gonna see that. You're gonna trip it off most likely, which is definitely a very unique trip mine out of all the trip mines that I've seen. And I've seen some weird trip mines all over the place, but it looks like someone does give Willie the call out saying you should probably move it somewhere else. Radiant again setting up around the gym side. Call outs are being made, telling them where to go and how to make this push. And they're mixing up this time around, because I know the first time they did set up a little bit more on the floor above, trying to go into that hatch, but that hatch play did not work out for them. Anyways, they're going to be breaching soon. I think they might be going for a breach reset as we see them running to the other side, potentially going in through the window. And yes, we do see that they're making some quick pushes. They're trying to shoot out the static, they do. And they are running in. Willie getting shots off, and they do get the kill down. And they're, oh my goodness, Quanchi able to get the wall bang. Doesn't matter, Pearl's able to shut it down. Donut starting to swing wide, gets another kill. And wall bangs are happening. And oh my goodness, I cannot keep up. Literally, things are happening too fast. It's down to Red Wolf now, as that team just got mowed down in that initial push. Oh my goodness, they got to change that model. It's like weird now with the Bezen. I don't know if y'all knew, but now with Spectator, because of the Bezen's new model, it actually goes into the gun itself, so it's not fun. And this is like a weird gunshot. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's me being a spectator, being picky about the game. The clock is counting down, and Red Wolf able to get Quanchi caught out. I think what Red Wolf is most likely going to do is trying to get people picked off one by one. But as we can see, they're not rocking any syringes. Callsign Echo, on the other hand, literally has syringes for every single player. So they're probably going to be in a healthier state. And on top of that, Red Wolf doesn't have the EMP. So Red Wolf, the smarter play here is probably just play the save. But I think they're... Oh, no, it's the last round. They don't need to save. They can go all out. And he was going for the long reset for the EMP. Their teammates probably were pinging the heck out of that EMP, telling them, hey, you got to go for it. You got to go long and potentially get a plant in. And force Callsign Echo's hand into something else. So we're seeing, we got Deadline in, Donut Pirate, and they're pretty well spread right now. As Deadline is really trying their best to pick it out, but Red Wolf is trying to be careful. I think they saw some people in on the site. Anyways, Red Wolf is starting to make a push in, trying to potentially catch them out. Anyways, they do. They get Nolan knocked down. And it doesn't matter as Deadline's able to finish that up and get that kill off on them. And that does give Callsign Echo the first 6 rounds for Hideout. Somehow able to clutch it up all the way through. And I mean, at this point, they got the draw in the bag. So we're definitely going to a map 3 decider between Callsign Echo and Radiant. We will have to see if Radiant will do better on the attacking half. Defending half. But we will have to see. Because they essentially need to win the next 6. Otherwise, literally any misstep in either round just gives the win to Callsign Echo no matter what. So I'm curious to see how Radiant decides to do their defending on this map. Do we see them still utilize their hard anchors on site? Are they going to utilize more roaming this time around? Last time we did see them do a lot of anchoring, and looks like they are doubling up a lot on the gadgets, probably expecting a push in. Anyways, shots being made, and a frag potentially being thrown out. Oh, that's a smoke. Never mind. Never mind. It looks like they're throwing in an incendiary, expecting people to fly in. Nothing happening yet as they try to get that wall bang in. And the drone is calling out people left and right. Quan Chi does see the side, but doesn't quite push it yet. And a lot of wall banging happening on Radiant's side. Almost, I think, just barely almost hitting them. Anyways, a smoke was thrown in. Shots being traded left and right. But Swift's able to get split lip, sorry, not split lip on the back end. Do they get shot out? And they do get caught up by Deadline. Quan Chi trying their best to get shots in. They do. Deadline on the back end getting another kill. And their advantage is being dwindled left and right as it's now down to Pearl and Red Wolf. As Red Wolf swings in wide. Do they see someone? Yep, Quan Chi gets the last one. And at this point it's now down to Red Wolf and Deadline. Red Wolf, well, swinging wide. Does see them. And Quan Chi decides to push it. Will they get the kill, though? And it looks like Red Wolf is going in for the long play. Nolan is potentially going to catch them out. That's fully what I'm expecting here. And right when I predict that doesn't matter as Deadline's able to finish that up. And literally the most terrible timing from what we can see as Nolan, I think, was literally vaulting as someone was entering the site. Anyways, that does give the round win to Callsign Echo. We can see them cheering there in that last one. And it's now a tied series game with Callsign Echo having one game with a shutout, actually, a 7-0 shutout against Radiant 7-5 on Factory. We're going into a map 3. Can you see that 3 decider into Skyscraper? We will have to see at this point so we're literally seeing one team is better at one map, one team is better at the other map. So we'll see if who is better at Skyscraper, and that's what I'm really expecting from this lineup at this point, seeing who's better at the last map, who's better attacking on the last map, who's better at defending, or who's better at just both altogether. So we'll see what does happen here, as I'm not sure if the teams are going to be taking a break again. I don't think they will, question mark, not quite sure. And it looks like they are going to be subbing in another player. And, I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, beautiful gameplay by Callsign Echo, really holding it down the whole time. I did not expect a 7-0 in the slightest. Maybe a good win from them, potentially. But, I mean, how many rounds did Callsign Echo have a bot? So they were rocking 4 players for, I think, 2-3 rounds. And on top of that, round wins. And, I mean, I'm seeing people in the chat talking about how, you know, Radiant was playing a little bit too tight together, and that's exactly what happened. I think they're trying to go in on these blitz plays on Hideout, and it might work against some other lower tier teams, but as we're seeing against some of these higher tier teams, they're not going to be caught out by that. It's got to be a strong consolidated push. You got to be making sure that if you make that push, everyone is watching different angles in the room. Otherwise, it's not going to really work out for them. So, good gameplay by Callsign Echo to shut down a lot of those quick blitz plays that they were attempting. But who knows? They might work out on Skyscraper. It's definitely a funkier map, to say the least. And these teams, looks like they are kind of hanging out, setting up, but they are going to be going into round 3. So this is the map decider, as we had just talked about. Both teams have won on different sides of this. On different maps, right? We have Radiant with that first one. We can see there with a 7-5, Callsign Echo with a 0-7, and at this point, these teams are duking it out, potentially get the last win for this game and really win out the series. And I'm really hoping these teams don't go to a draw, because that will make me sad. Even if they did go to a draw, though, Callsign Echo will win due to point difference in the second map, so it still won't be a draw technically. I think that's how that works. I believe, someone correct me if I am wrong there, but I believe that's how that will work. Anyways, we're seeing some interesting gameplay. Callsign Echo playing sort of kind of a 2-2-1 snare, playing a little bit spread thin, but we'll see how they do decide to push in on this game. And it appears we might have 2 roamers, or at least like 2 extended roamers, not playing too deep or anything. And Split Lip is really dancing everywhere all the time. Anyway, shots in on Lounge. Are they going to be making a push in? As 3 people swing wide into Lounge. Probably expecting to push in from the team. We got 3 people in on Lounge, fully expecting something. I think JJ's Quest is waiting for any potential picks, as they're watching them go back, left, and right. Anyways, might be seeing a push soon. As shots are being traded in, Quanchi able to get a kill off on Split Lip. Now down 1, and I think the team just pulled out of Lounge, surprisingly. JJ's Quest goes in for the long reset through that wall, through that door, sorry. Can I get the angle? Yes, I can. They get the shot off on Donut Pirate. Get another kill off on JJ's Quest, and they did not get shot at all. And the wallbang is going left and right. And this round is going very favorably for Radiant, as it's a 4v3 situation. And so they're able to get a kill off on Quanchi in the back end. Chet preparing for a push potentially, as they're moving all over the place. We'll see how this push does start working out. Chet pulls up, waiting for people to start moving around. Doesn't see anyone yet. Nolan starts swinging in. And Chet does get caught out by JJ's Quest. Nolan able to knock one down. They're not looking at everyone as, I mean, it's not favorable, right? You got a 3-1 scenario. They're not going to work it out. Radiant does get the first win there. And, you know, this is the gameplay I expect from Radiant. They had a good first round and, first map. So it's definitely looking a lot better for them now. Because I don't know what happened on Hideout. I don't know if they just decided to push weird or just couldn't defend anything well. But things just were not working out for them. Because I think there was several times where Callsign Echo was able to hold it down. And again, they were able to hold it down with the bot nonetheless. And yeah, they're setting up all across that hallway. Again, I don't think we'll be seeing Radiant really playing into a roamer style gameplay. They're really, I think at most, playing 1 or 2 rooms away from the site. So they're playing pretty close, not playing aggressive or anything. Anyways, we'll see how this does develop out. Red Wolf seeing some shots in, but nothing. Oh, and a frag is thrown in. Luckily, nobody was there as they were able to dodge that narrowly. I believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, everyone's on site, okay. And Red Wolf really turning around, trying to see if anyone's anywhere else. team is coming in slowly. I think I heard drops in, but not quite seeing who is there. I think Split Lip, they're not expecting Split Lip. I'm not sure Split Lip sees them. Anyways, pings are being made. I don't think they see Red Wolf in the corner. And the flash was a beautiful flash, as Red Wolf was not expecting that at all. And they swing in wide. And it looks like at this point, Callsign Echo does have control of A. Are they going in for the plan? Yes, they are. They're holding. Oh, and Swift does knock down Quan Chi on the back end there. Anyway, Swift gets another pick. It's now a 3v3 scenario. And I think JJ's Quest is fully expecting them to be outside, and Donut's waiting for them to pull out. And the whole team's going to be coming in as a smoke is thrown in. And is it about to be a 3-man push? No, they shut down. Well, it was a 3-man push. They pushed in and they knocked down Donut Pirate. Anyways, they are going in. Chad able to get a kill off. Nolan able to get a pick off on the other end too. It is now down to a 2v1 scenario. They know someone's outside. I do not know how much time is left. And Pro gets picked off by Chet also. And Chet does get finished off by Swift. I think they have enough time for this. Can they do it? They do? Was that literally 0 seconds left? Yeah, right? Right? Did I see that right? 0 seconds left? I don't know. I'm confused. I don't know what happened there. I think it's an Enforcer's win. Oh wait, it was Enforcer's win. Wow, they did not get that. I was literally, we're talking milliseconds. Anyways, did not expect that. Did not expect that. That was a crazy defuse attempt, and definitely risky gameplay from Chet. I think if they waited just literally a second longer, it would have been a little bit safer. Anyways, we're seeing some full buy-ins from Radiant's side. I think I'm seeing Vezins all across the board except for Split Lip. And on the other side, we're seeing the same exact thing from Callsign Echo as they are also buying out. We're going to see some crazy head-to-head gameplay here in round 3. And remember, this is actually a site that Callsign Echo has already attacked. We'll see if they do mix it up or if they're going to make the same exact gameplay. And we'll see if Radiant's able to combat against that. Anyway, shots off from the drone. But not quite hitting it. So they saw the call out. They saw people going in. But it looks like they are clearing things out. Callsign Echo playing a very long, wide game right now. And, you know, we're seeing right now with Radiant, they're spread wide. They do have 3 on B side for sure. But they're playing wide. I think they don't know where their Callsign Echo is going to be coming from. And Swift's, again, having some very interesting gameplay here. Definitely going to be taking track of that. I'm not sure if Swift knows the camera's almost always on them, or if Swift is just that kind of character. Anyways, team starts swinging in wide. They are now alerted. Radiant is fully aware of Callsign Echo coming in, potentially in on the side, and they get picked off by JJ's Quest along the hallway. Yes, and wallbanging is happening left and right. And wow, did that work out in their favor? Anyways, Quan Chi able to get shot off and able to kill them. Surprisingly, when JJ's had that light of sign, I can't even talk right now. That sight held it down. Anyways, gadgets are being thrown all the way around. And I think Deadline was trying to give it a Nolan potentially. Anyways, doesn't matter. Deadline going in for the foam. And I think they must have to share that breach because there's only one. Anyways, time is ticking down. It's about a minute left in the round. Callsign Echo really taking her time. I don't think Deadline sees Split Lip on the other end. Anyways, they push in hard. Swift's able to get a couple kills off, and now it's down to a 1 person left from Nolan FK. Can Nolan clutch up with a 1v3 situation? It's 30 seconds. Honestly, I think Nolan's probably going in for a save. Probably just holding that angle, trying to expect potentially to get another pick off. And I think that's what we are going to be seeing. And here we are counting down. With Nolan with the save, and that is it for this round. Revolters are able to clutch it up, and Radiant able to get that win in. And I don't know what to say. You know, Skyscraper is so close from both of these teams. They're literally neck and neck every single round. I really don't know who's going to win or who's going to take it. I am curious to see how the later half goes. I think we're going to keep seeing the same gameplay going into the next you know, set. But who knows? Maybe Callsign Echo will hold us down, or Radiant will continue their momentum, because right now they got 2 wins in the bag. Granted, it was like a 1, then a 1, then a 1. So we're seeing people, they're literally trading and duking it out 1 for 1 between each other. And let's see, I believe this is into broadcasting and mixing. And I just find it so interesting. You know, they really don't utilize roaming at all from Radiant, but it's working for them. They just are not wasting any lives or anything like that, right? Anyway, Swift's definitely another player to kind of keep your eye on. I mean, we're seeing JJs and Swifts hold it down several times over on the defending half. Like, how many times have I called out Swifts, and how many times have I called out JJs for getting some crazy picks back to back? Anyways, the team is holding B-side, potentially, you know, really expecting to push in from here. Sorry, let me change this camera thing. Yep, 2. Do they have a proximity? I feel like they probably put a proximity. They've been Radiant's been pretty good job at putting proximities all over the place to really give them notice, hey, someone's here, right? Anyway, shots being shot through the wall. I think maybe they expected someone in that window. Anyways, the breach was made. They are pushing in. JJ's quest able to get the kill off. And again, I'm telling you, JJ's just always holding it down. And they swing in wide. I think they might see the smoke all the way through. And the EMP is planted. We'll see if Callsign is able to hold this down. Doesn't matter. JJ's comes in and knocks him down for the count. And Nolan must have just saw the footsteps there, because they shot through that. And wallbanging is happening right now. I think Red Wolf's going out there to clean it out. And they get caught out on the back end from Nolan. I think Swift's trying to poke in potentially. But Callsign Echo playing smart. You know, they have the plant. They have 2 on the back end. They're not going to play into the Radiant's hand. I can't talk right now. But they have to be careful. We got Nolan on the back end. You know, playing that roaming play, waiting to catch people out. Anyways, the team is coming in. They're starting to swing in. Shots being made. Nolan able to knock someone down. Swift swinging wide. Gets knocked down by Quan Chi. It's down to split. It doesn't matter. Quan Chi able to clutch that up for Callsign Echo. And this is what I'm saying. Literally back to back to back. I don't know who's going to win the next round. It's literally blow for blow between Callsign Echo and Radiant right now, as they are both itching to get to that win for this map. And I don't hope I hope it's not a draw. I really hate draws, because then what? It ends up being a point decider. I mean, it's gonna go to Callsign Echo if there's a draw. So for Radiant's sake, they can't get a draw. They have to win this map. Otherwise, Callsign Echo will by default win, because they had a huge point difference on map 2, right? So this will not be technically a draw. It'll be a win towards Callsign Echo if this goes into a draw, but I don't think it's going to be a draw. I think one of these teams is going to be able to hold it down until the very end, but we will have to see which one that happens to be. As we go into round 5, have we played this floor? No, this is a new site. This is a fresh site, so Callsign Echo has not played into this site yet. We will have to see how Radiant does respond, and do they respond well against what Callsign Echo is going to be cooking up for them. And JJ's Quest definitely putting that proxy in a very good spot. And I will give credit to Radiant. I've seen them utilize proxies in very smart spots, places that give them easy peeks. And I don't know what happened. Did Pearl just try to kill somebody? Yeah, it looks like a TK happened. I don't know what happened there, but hopefully Radiant can come back from that. That's always the oddest thing. You know, I've seen some weird gameplay sometimes where people get a TK, and I don't know if it's on purpose or someone's just messing up really bad. I don't know. Anyways, the hatch was blown by Callsign Echo, as they are going to be setting up. And we are now about a full minute into the round. As we got some folks on the back end from Callsign Echo coming in. And there it is, that proxy. I'm telling you, like, just when you think you're being sneaky, you're going to get called out. Anyways, Nolan FK able to get a shot off. Deadline pushing in with Donut Pirate. They did get caught out by the smoke, as the smoke didn't work out for them. Anyways, Nolan pulls in wide, knocking down 2 back-to-back. I think they're really trying to poke in. Anyways, Nolan swings wide. And that is the round for Callsign Echo. There we go in for a replay. I am terrible at pulling out these replays. But there we go. That does give Callsign Echo the round. Going into round 6. And, you know, the way it's been going, we saw about, you know, wins back and forth between Callsign Echo and Radiant. I'm wondering if we're going to see the same thing here. Will Radiant be able to fight it out and win this round? Or have it not work out? You know, it's round 6. Looking at Radiant side, they can't afford Vezins. They have to do half buys. I mean, we're seeing people like Split Lip going in for shotguns, which definitely a risky buy, but definitely the best that they can do. If you can get close enough, that's a good gun to use when you're up in someone's face, right? But on the opposite end, you know, if you're looking at economy alone, Callsign Echo has this. They have Vezins back, you know, all the way through. They have literally all the money in the world right now. So it's really up to Radiant's skill level. Can they utilize their gun mechanics and really fight this out, regardless of the gun difference that we're seeing here? Anyways, we're seeing 2 people swing hard into site. Well, not site, second floor. And we see a breach happening here. See what is going on Radiant's side. I think they heard it, but they aren't quite sure what's happening. I think they just don't know where it's coming from. Anyways, another hatch blown by Callsign Echo, but nothing happening yet. A lot of frags being thrown in, but no one really quite getting hit by it. It was Callsign Echo playing in. Not running into anyone yet. And JJ's Quest on the back, and I know they're itching to get a kill. Anyways, Callsign Echo looks like we're going to be seeing a push pretty soon from them. And JJ's Quest is holding down that room. I think they're fully expecting someone to jump in through that window. And a flash going off. I don't think it's quite connected with anybody. And it was only swinging in wide. Smokes are being traded left and right. And JJ's Quest, I don't think no one saw him on the back end. JJ's got another shot off. And Callsign Echo just, they had a beautiful push there, but it just got knocked down hard. I think it was an EMP plant, right? Yeah, they have that. I don't know what they're doing. I think
They're not going for the defuse. I think they're like fully looking around. Anyways, Deadline on the top end gets a kill off. And I think they're playing for time. And Deadline gets another pick off. At this point, it's now on Red Wolf. And time is counting down. They don't even have one. And wow, Deadline clutches it up. I did not think that would happen. And just at the last minute, I thought Red Wolf was going to one-hand that, but they did not. As somehow Deadline is able to get the kill off with literally, what is that, 2-3 health left? I don't even know. Literally a straight pistol would have knocked him down. Anyways, we're going into the second half right now with Callsign Echo on the upper hand. I fully expected Radiant to get that win. I don't know what they were doing, you know. If someone had gone in for the defuse, they would have had that. And that's why, I don't know. I don't know what happened there. Radiant fully had that round in the bag, but unfortunately they let it go. Maybe they were playing a little too cautious. And it was weird because they had 3 players versus 1. Maybe they didn't have the numbers count. Maybe they just weren't aware of what was happening. Unfortunately for Radiant, but fortunately for Callsign Echo, they took their time, and we saw Deadline was able to rotate all the way up somehow and still be able to make it to the EMP plant and knock somebody down. Anyways, Radiant, we might be seeing some similar pushes from Radiant with that full man push. Shots off from Deadline, and looks like they're being shot down left and right. That's a 3-piece right there from Callsign Echo. That's almost a full kill, I believe. That is a full wipe from Callsign Echo from 2 players, I believe. And I hope Radiant does not go the same route as they did in Hideout, because that's exactly what happened in Hideout. And that makes me sad. Because, you know, when you think about these pushes that you're making, and if they aren't working, you got to stop doing them. You got to mix things up and see how do you change them up to work better against the team that you're playing. And that's what we saw with Radiant on Hideout. They did several times where they had these kind of bullish pushes into sites, but they got knocked down by Callsign Echo. Those plays are working for them, and I don't know why they keep trying to utilize them. And I think that's what's punishing Radiant right now. Because I don't know if y'all remember those some of those pushes on Factory. I think they played a little bit different on Factory. I'm not sure if they play very differently on these other maps. But the pushes are not working out for them right now. And anyways, Radiant is setting up again on the window, potentially on the outside. And it looks like it might be another 5-man push. I really hope they don't do this again. But I guess it's on the second floor up, so they're probably playing a little bit smart. They do have a roamer on Callsign Echo's side as Deadline's in the back end. Swings in wide, gets a kill, gets a 3-piece! Deadline swings in again, he gets a 4-piece and almost gets an ace there. I do not know how that happened. But anyways, Radiant just gets knocked out by the second roamer, it looks like. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to tell you. I really that is something you would hope to clip, but it is what it is. Oh, I had to clip it. Don't get me wrong. And Radiant again doing some. I don't know. I'm sad. You know, the strategist in me wants to like really sit down with them and say, hey, this ain't working. You got to mix it up. But we will see how they do it, because they literally got 4-pieced by one guy on the other team. And this is now match point for Callsign Echo. Can they hold it down against Radiant? Can they shut them down? And can Radiant mix it up? I think that's what they're trying to utilize here. You know, we see Red Wolf making talks with JJ's Quest and Cliffs, trying to tell them what to do and trying to mix things up. Anyways, they are pulling down once more. And I really hope they do not do another 5-man push, because I am not loving this. Anyways, we do see Radiant setting up on the windows. Maybe take a little bit longer. It looks like they are taking longer. I think they learned last time around to not hard push this if they don't have to. And I have a headache right now. Oh my goodness, I need to get some water. Swift shot in through the window. Are they trying to come in? Did they see deadline? And I don't know. Radiant is mixing it up right now. Probably trying to distract Callsign Echo as they do a 4-man push. And oh my goodness, this is not going to be looking good for Nolan as they swing in wide and they don't catch him out. And they are pushing hard. Only able to get it one piece, but he gets knocked out by Split Lip. And man, we are seeing Radiant come in full force now, pushing really hard. Deadline able to get a trade off from Pearl? I don't know. I think it was a team kill on accident. And it was a swing in wide, and they just wiped Callsign Echo in the matter of seconds. And I guess that's when you do the blitz play, right? Callsign Echo was not expecting that kind of gameplay from them. So that's how you do it. That's how you do the 5-man push. They did a hard 4 push with a jump. And that's my thing. If you're going to make a push into a site, you got to do those jumps. Otherwise, when you do the vault, you got to remember, the vault goes in very slow. And it wouldn't work well. Anyways, that was definitely some crazy gameplay by Radiant, and it worked out perfectly for them as they pushed in hard, able to catch off a couple players that weren't expecting it. And now, Callsign Echo's economy is not looking in the best shape. They have to win this, otherwise they will be going into the next round at a pretty strong disadvantage. I will say they have 6 rounds in their pocket, so they do have the draw at the bare minimum. We'll see if Radiant is able to at least fight this out for a draw, but here's the thing. At this point, Radiant has lost the series, right? Even if they get the draw, Callsign Echo has that 7-0 game. And anyways, they are swinging wide in again. And the trip mine catches them out. And they swing in hard with a 5-4 and oh my goodness, the frag goes out. And Nolan knocks him down. And looks like on the back end, it's now down to Swifts. And Swift somehow flashes themselves. And swings wide. And Quan Chi is able to clear that up. And that does give the round win to Callsign Echo. As they are able to clutch up that last map. And did y'all see that? I didn't. I don't know what it is, Radiant. They had such. I don't know what happened. You know, Factory 5-7. They were killing it, doing good. They even won it out by 2 whole points, clutching it up several different times over. And yet, when you go to maps like Hideout, when you go to maps like Skyscraper, they weren't expecting it. They weren't ready for them. And Callsign Echo were able to shut them down on the Hideout and then hold it down again through Skyscraper. So unfortunately, it did not quite work out for Radiant. I think they might need to revisit some of the plays that they are making because some of their 4 or 5-man pushes were not favorable pushes. We saw several times over where someone pushed and got a 3-4 piece even. And even in that one last part there, someone hard pushed in and then the frag went out. And that's the thing that I have against when you have these 3-4-man pushes, you got to be very smart. Because one well-placed frag, you're gonna knock somebody out, and that's it. That's it for your team, and you don't want that. You don't want your team to be knocked out in literally one hit. But hey, more power to these teams on how they decide to make their plays. But when you're getting to these higher levels, like we're talking top 10, top 20, even top 30, these are pretty solid gamers and pretty solid FPS players where they have those shot mechanics on point, and their plays are a little bit more developed. You can't be making some crazy gameplay and expecting it all to work out because of your own mechanics, right? Because you're playing against other players of similar, if not better, gameplay. Game mechanics or game skill. And that's what we saw here, right? Radiant did some hard pushes, and they did get one. Don't get me wrong. They got that one really good one on Skyscraper. But that was one of how many that failed? So I think that's what we saw today. Between 2 teams, it was some teams that were able to either clutch up for a couple rounds on a certain map. Maybe some teams really specializing on a certain map like Factory for Radiant, or certain plays just really not working out for a team, and they keep trying to utilize it, unfortunately to no good effect. So anyways, congratulations to Callsign Echo. Congratulations to my own team. So I'm happy they did win that out, and I'm so happy because I was definitely casting them. So it's great to see that. And hopefully in the next one, Radiant's able to hold it up and mix things up. So we will see how these teams perform in their next couple games. Anyways, I will be on my way out. I will have to see y'all around and see y'all in the next cast, which will be whenever I decide that I'm able to cast. So have a good one.
Breachers VRML is brought to you by Triangle Factory, HyperX, ProTube VR. Thanks for watching VRML.